Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Are You My Cousin? And it is the first day of RootsTech 2022. So I expect a lot of you have been over on the RootsTech site watching the keynote speakers, watching the sessions that are coming out this morning. And it's just so exciting to see this finally start. We've been watching it for so long coming. And so I'm very, very excited that it is here. So this is going to just be a little short kind of Facebook/YouTube live stream, just to kind of give you a couple tips for maneuvering around RootsTech site, kind of figuring out how to find what it is you want to watch, because there are 1,500 plus educational sessions that you can actually view. So really, where does one begin, right? So if this is your first time finding me here, I am Lisa Lisson. I am the author and creator over at Are You My Cousin, the blog and the YouTube channel. And I strive to take the overwhelm out of your genealogy research by showing you tips, tricks, strategies, and general how-tos for finding your ancestors. Each week I do go live on Thursdays, just as a regular Facebook Live, but during RootsTech, I'm going to be going live each day of RootsTech. So today, tomorrow, and Saturday, just to kind of give you a heads up of what I'm seeing, things you don't want to miss, maybe just easier ways to navigate the site, because there's a lot of content over there, definitely. So this morning, we've already had the keynote speakers. We've had Steve Rockwood, the CEO of Family Search. They also had, and I cannot pronounce the French baker's name, the bread baker, but that was there as well. And so those are already up so that you can watch them on replay. So if you missed either one of those, you can watch them on replay. I have just finished a session with Panga that I did just a little bit ago with the folks from Panga and Tammy Mize from Genealogy Conference or conferencekeeper.org, and where we just talked a lot about using photographs to spark memories, using photographs to spark memories to tell our stories, but also to incorporate the information into our genealogy research. Catherine already has a question about that. Can you rewatch the session? Yes, I believe you can. I'm actually not exactly sure where they're storing that particular live session, but you should be. Everything was recorded, so you should be able to watch it. Catherine and I'll ask Barbara over at Panga when we get done to make sure. So yes, and if you have any interest, I use Panga. If you guys have seen previous things I did, I use them for storytelling, drawing stories out of my photographs, facial recognition to help me identify photographs. And so if you have any questions or any interest in Panga, I would head over to visit them in the Expo Hall. You can live chat with them. You can get free, they'll show you demonstrations, free demonstrations and all that good stuff. So I would encourage you to talk to them. Let's see. Hey, Amy, good to see you from Oregon. Hey, Palmier from Ontario, Canada. Yay. Oh, Amy said my video is frozen. Oh dear, it is not frozen where I am. So, that's weird. I don't know if anybody else is having any issues, but let me know if you are. Amy, if it may be if you go out and come back in, that might help. I'm not really sure, or close out some extra things that might be playing in the background. Oh, hey, Mary. So you missed, but you're planning to watch. Yes. Hey, Melissa Barker, the archive lady is here, guys. She's having fun on her first day of RootsTech. Melissa did a really fun live stream with me last night about the fun things in the archives that genealogy researchers often overmiss. So it's on the YouTube channel and on the Facebook page. So I would encourage you to go back to that if you missed it. So now you have 1,501 things to watch. All right. Hey, Ginger. Okay, everybody else says it's not frozen. So yeah, if there was an issue, I'd head out and come back. Okay, so everything looks good on my side. So just so you know, before I forget to put this in the chat, I'm putting a link to my schedule for the next 3 days here in the chat. So, to connect with me at RootsTech. Again, it's my schedule for the Facebook Lives because I'm having to change up the times a little bit. Then you can also find my pre-recorded session over at RootsTech as well. So, hey, Diane, good to see you. Teresa, maybe buffering. Sometimes you get a screen message. Yeah, my buffering, I seem to be buffering okay. So I'm just going to kind of keep on going and hope everything looks pretty good. Everything else, let me just make sure I've got everything turned off. I just want to make sure I've got all the extra things closed out. Maybe that's the problem right there. Oh, maybe that's the problem. Let me close this section out. Okay, that might help, guys. Sorry. All right, so let's talk about RootsTech. Let's talk about how do you decide what it is you want to watch? Because currently there are over 100 million participants in RootsTech. Excuse me, 1 million participants in RootsTech. Lots of live chats or live stream things. There's the main stage, there's the sessions, there's workshops going on, there's the Expo Hall. I'm going to share my screen with you guys and take you over to kind of give you a couple tips to navigate and how I kind of search for it. And I hope that that will give you some clues and tips and make it a little bit easier if you just see how I search. So let me share my screen really quick, guys. Hang on one second. There it is. Okay, so there it is. Now, just so you know, guys, I actually can't see my comments, but I will come back and answer questions, but just to let you know, I won't see them. So this is the homepage of RootsTech, and I think we're probably all familiar with it. And up here, obviously, it tells you the main stage. You can go into the sessions. So if you're interested in, I always check first things first. I'm going to check the main stage first because I want to see what's playing live. Because some things I want to get live, even though it's all it's all recorded and I can watch again, I do want to see certain things live. And one of these is actually going to be the MyHeritage keynote. It starts at 4:30 today, so we will be done by 4:30 Eastern time because I definitely want to see, because MyHeritage, like many of the companies, they announce like new features, and so I always like to hear those live if I possibly can. And then it gives you your sessions down here. So I'm always looking for these, and you can see these little red. I've put all of these in my playlist because I want to make sure that I see all of these as soon as, and I like to see them as soon as they're released because I really enjoy them that much. But I do know that they'll be there. Now, when it comes to the sessions, and this is where it gets a little sticky. Let me see. I'm going to make my screen just a little. There you go, so you can see better. You can do active searching now. Here's what I typically do. Once I've kind of figured out and seen the main things that I want to see over on the main stage, I'm going to come in and I'm actually going to go ahead and filter things. And I typically look at getting started. So if you are a new genealogy researcher, or maybe you're learning, you have a new interest such as preserving family history or preserving historical records, things like that, then you might want to start in the getting started tab. I typically go to topic first because there are certain topics that I know that I'm interested in. Maybe for you this year, maybe this is the year that you're going to take all those DNA courses and figure out what it is you want to learn about DNA. So when I click on DNA as a topic, there are 265 results. So that's quite a bit, obviously. But I'm typically going to go through here and kind of pick out which one I'm interested in seeing. And down here, this blue button's hard to see, but there are 20 more options here. You can search by location. So if you know that you are researching Irish ancestors, always a popular thing. I'm going to go down here. It says see all. There are 253 locations that they have here. And then I can go in and find Ireland. Click on it, and then I can go and see what else they have. I can search more than one if I want. So that's how I do. Hang on, let me pull this down just a little bit further. You can start if you are looking for series, if you are looking for just the keynotes, you can actually, they will have them here as well. If you are looking for a specific activity, you can search under activity or class section. So there are different sections you can go under. You can look sponsor or exhibitor down here. I typically do that in the exhibit hall, but that's just me. In my head, I'm kind of walking through the halls of the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City from being there previous years and knowing that, okay, so when I go into the exhibit hall, these are the companies I'm going to look at. So that's kind of how I look at it. The other thing, if you know what you were looking for, a lot of times I just go up here and do a search. So if you know the speaker, you can actually search by speaker down in the filters. But if you know the speaker, just type their name in. Okay. And yes, this is a very shameless plug. Okay, except they didn't show mine. Hang on, I got to get out to the whole, I got to clear my filters, don't I? this is a shameless plug on my own, but so just type in the name of the speaker and you'll find it. So here's the one I did with Panga. And if you come down here, there we go. This is the session I'm doing. This is my pre-recorded session. It's available whenever you want to see it. And to put something in your playlist, just click the plus sign and it's now in my playlist. So here's something I did want to show you though. So this is this year's. My talk from last year is still there. So you will be able, you actually can find talks from previous years, or I shouldn't say previous years, but from 2021, you may find some of that. You'll find some of those, quite a few of them here as well. Not everything is from 2021 is on here, but because some things, weren't really relevant anymore. If it was time sensitive, or, if there was a session about using a specific website and then they changed their format, then, it's out of date kind of things. So know that you can find even more than that 1,500 that you're there. And then when you're ready to watch your playlist, you just come up to that little arrow caret thing right there, and this takes you to your playlist. I have no idea what that little thing is in the middle of my screen. And so you can see, I've just started adding. I've just really kind of begun. I'm a little bit behind, but you can see I've added a lot of things that I want to look at this year. I'm really focused a lot on some of the social history and food cultures and bringing some of that in as well. So you'll see that as well. And then there's a series, this I think is on, I think this is Irish immigrants so I wanted to watch that series because that's an interest of mine, is watching is Irish research because I'm stuck. So yes, so that's kind of how I go about RootsTech. And let me come back to you guys. I will tell you that I take a lot of breaks during the day, quite frankly. I did start my day with my usual run. So I've already run today. I did take a break and walk away from the computer because I get tired from just being on the computer all day, as I'm sure you do. So I would encourage you to take those breaks, because there is, we can watch these sessions afterwards. So that it's just kind of a relief to know that. It's like I want to watch as much as I can for these 3 days because there's a lot of excitement around RootsTech. It helps me stay focused, but it does take some of that pressure off, that I know that if I don't get to it this time, I still have the opportunity to watch it. So that's a good thing. Let's see. Yeah, oh, Marianne says she wanted to get as much information as she can so she can do her genealogy better. Exactly. And that's really that's what we all want, right? And, but when you go in person, which I absolutely love being in person. I'm sorry we can't do that this year again, but, you can't get to everything that oftentimes that you want to, or invariably there's one time slot that has maybe 3 different lectures you want to go to. So it's a little hard to do. So this is nice to be able to do it from home and to have literally the international community doing this as well. Catherine said it's hard to find the playlist sessions on a long list. Yes, I agree. You can search for a speaker, but if you don't remember the name, it won't work. Yes, when you're searching for a speaker, it helps if you know their full name. If they have an unusual name, because listen's not that common. So if you put my last name in there, you typically get me. But yeah, if you have them, not everybody is quite as easy. I will say, and Catherine, you do have a good point. When you put a lot of sessions in your playlist, the problem is kind of filtering those out a little bit. And I haven't really seen a way to filter those so that I could say everything I want, all of the culinary heritage ones will be here and all of the ones on Irish research will be here. And I think that's actually just a suggestion. I think at the end, when they ask for suggestions, that would be a suggestion that I would ask them to add so that I can organize my playlist a little bit better, and I'm not just kind of having to scroll through each time. Typically, though, the one difference is, as you saw, if you have put a series, like I'd put that Irish research series on my playlist, the series typically are underneath it, kind of down to, under a different section. And so that kind of helps divide it out a little bit. Carolyn says she started the playlist and that option disappeared as you went through the session. Really? I am not sure about that. If that continues to be a problem, Carolyn, you might want to reach out. They have RootsTech. Let me make sure I tell you this correctly. So there's a little right next to the playlist caret button at the top of the homepage. There is a little chat symbol, and if you click that, you can live chat to problem solve through that if you need to. So do that if you're still having trouble. Yeah, Catherine, you should put that on your. If we all put that suggestion on our forms, that'll be really good. Maybe we can get that a way to organize those playlists going forward. I don't know. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments what maybe your favorite session is that you have watched so far. I would really like to hear kind of what people are seeing out there that they're enjoying. I really, again, enjoyed the two keynotes this morning. I haven't quite finished the second one. I had a commitment that I needed to take care of, so I have to watch the rest of it on replay, like a lot of the world. But I'm really have enjoyed what I was hearing so far, and I absolutely love the theme of choosing connection. I do like one of the things I really enjoy with RootsTech is being able to sometimes get out of the records and look at our family history from a storytelling perspective, because I do, as much as I love to find those records and I can talk about records all day long, I do find it so important to my enjoyment of doing genealogy, of telling the stories and then sharing the stories and understanding the people that I'm researching and not just the information. It's kind of fun. Let's see, Jody, you said the live ones are at close to 500 people. That's a lot of people watching one time, right? Easier than last year, but hopefully easier by next year. Yeah, definitely easier this year. They had to turn it on such a dime last year. I was so impressed that they were able to do what they did. And yes, I am finding things a little bit easier this year. I was able to chat with Jen Allen, the RootsTech event manager. I was able to interview her before, was it last week maybe? And she was talking about, yeah, just to be able to have last year in the bag and be able to move forward. They've made a lot of changes, and just all the ways that you can connect with people and through the relatives at RootsTech. If you choose to do that, you do need a family tree at Family Search to be able to participate in the relatives at RootsTech to see who else you're related to, who might be attending virtually. And so all the live chats, that to me is really exciting to be able to do that as well. Oh, that was what I want. I knew I was forgetting one thing. When you're watching these sessions and you choose a session to watch, they have a chat room for each session. So if you go to someone's chat room, if you watch their pre-recorded session and you have a question, you can go into that chat room and leave a question, and they will come back and answer you. So typically what happens is we're not notified that somebody's left a chat. We just go in a couple times a day and check to see if there are any comments or questions that we can address. So just know that it's not going to be, it's a live chat in the sense that we'll get to it, but it's not live in the sense that I'm waiting by my computer for somebody to put a comment in my chat box. So I do check it. It's just, it doesn't, it might be a little while before you hear back. So be sure and ask questions. And that was something that was really important, Jen said, is just to make sure people really knew that and used it. That the chat rooms were utilized a lot last year, but still I found that there were a lot of my followers who really weren't that aware of the chat rooms or how to use the chat rooms. And so this is kind of your Q&A section. It's the Q&A for you when it comes to those sessions. So if you have sessions, those chat rooms will not be available, I don't think, after the conference. So while the session will be, if you have sessions that you think you might want to have questions, you're more likely to have a question about, you might want to bump that up in your queue a little bit to watch. All right, guys, I am going to let you go because at 4:30 there is MyHeritage is doing their keynote, and I really want to see that live, and I'm going to let you guys do that, and I'm going to go get a sip of water, and I will see you tomorrow. So if you guys are watching live, I will be back tomorrow on March 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern time for RootsTech Day 2, to chat. And I'm going to be talking about the Expo Hall and kind of some of the ins and outs and getting comfortable with doing that in a virtual format, because it is different, definitely, to do that Expo Hall in that virtual format. So have a fantastic day. Oh, Catherine said you misunderstood all the times for Mountain Time, but it looks like they're, Catherine, that happened to me because they had told us in some of the meetings I was in that everything would be in Mountain Time. So I was converting, and then I noticed, and that's how it was earlier last week, I think, when I would like check whenever they released the schedule the first time. And then I noticed, and I guess it started converting on my computer. So it recognized, I guess once I signed in, it recognized I was on Eastern Time, and it converted things to Eastern Time because it kind of threw me for a loop there. So yes, that was, I'm honestly not 100% sure if that's consistent across the board, but it sounds like that's happening to you as well. So sometimes what I noticed is that when I went in and looked at the keynote speaker and it said the next one is at, I forget what time it was, whatever. And then it said GMT, Greenwich Time -5. Well, that's GMT. I looked it up because I thought I was right, is Eastern Time. But if, it could be, if it's GMT 6, that's Central Time. So yeah, it's a little confusing. So you might want to double check on some of that, guys, to see if it's doing that. Deborah said, are we able to research all over the world, not just American genealogy? Yes, they are covering, RootsTech covers, it's international, and they are covering countries and locations. I think they have 253 locations on that list that I saw that you can research. If you are researching in a country, I would recommend starting with the family search website. Check their wiki to learn what's available and how to search in a particular country. And they have records as well, from around the world. MyHeritage does as well. I talk about American genealogy research or U.S. research because that's what I do. It's impossible to be an expert in every country. That's what I do. But to be honest, guys, I talk a lot about strategies and tips, which it doesn't really matter what country or what records you're in, but having the strategies can cross borders. So just so you know about that. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow and we can chat about the Expo Hall because I'm having fun over there too. All right, have a great day and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.